get in there is beyond me, Cat. But I know who you were looking for. You want Nola back here with us, don't you? So do I, my friend. So very, very much. Who is it? Now, just a moment. I'll unlock the door. All right, come in.
I went up to your room to find you. There's a telephone call.
Nola hasn't had a turn for the worse,
No,
has she?
it's nothing like that. It's Lieutenant Wyatt.
Does he wish to speak to me?
No. He asked to speak with Helena. What shall I tell him?
I don't know. Wonder why he wishes to speak to Helena.
He didn't say, but perhaps he's calling to tell her that she's free to leave Springfield at last.
But he didn't tell you that himself.
No, he just asked to speak to Miss Manzini. Shall I see if she's in her room?
He wouldn't have to speak to her personally if he was giving her permission to leave Springfield. No, he must want to speak to her regarding another matter.
What would that be?
I think it has something to do with the conversation Mr. Bauer had with Anthony last night at Wyatt for Sound. But why? Why are they asking these questions? What are they really after?
Mr. McCord, we cannot keep the lieutenant waiting any longer. Now, shall I tell Helena she has a telephone call?
No.
Then what do I tell the lieutenant?
Tell him that Helena is asleep and that she'll return his call when she awakes.
Very well.
My friend, it's all beginning to close in on me now. All those memories of the past, memories I thought I'd buried long ago. Memories I've never been able to share with anyone. Not even Nola. Especially Nola.
She's awake.
Did you tell her Lieutenant Wyatt called?
No, I haven't seen her. I only heard her on the house telephone. She was shouting at someone in the kitchen.
Well, when she emerges, one of us will have to tell her about the call.
Very well. But we don't want the police all over this house. The last time they were here, she almost told them about the room on the 3rd floor.
And that must never happen.
I know.
It's imperative. I don't know how many times I have to tell you.
Tell her what?
Nothing.
Well then, may I tell her something? I want coffee. I've wanted some ever since I awakened. But of course the cook is nowhere to be found, and that stupid woman who laughingly calls herself the downstairs maid can't even boil water, much less make a pot of coffee.
Helena, must I remind you that you're a guest in this house, and as such, you're in no position to give orders.
Oh, really? Watch me. I want coffee. Now.
Help yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. What's that thing doing here?
This thing is Nola's cat.
Ah. I thought you hated cats.
I don't hate them. I'm afraid of them. But Cat and I have learned to make our peace, seeing that Nola is so fond of him. Actually, I've become rather fond of him myself.
Isn't there any juice?
Lieutenant Wyatt called you. He'd like you to call him back.
Oh, I pray to God he's going to tell me I can leave this mausoleum and go back to Europe.
Nothing, I repeat, nothing, my dear Helena, could make me happier.
I'm crazy about you, too.
Where do you think you're going?
Upstairs, where I can make the call in private.
You will make it here, where I can keep an eye on you.
Will you please stop ordering me about?
And while you remain a guest here, I will give you orders.
All right, all right. But I refuse to pick up that phone until I've had some juice.
You are the most spoiled,
Mr. McCord! Please don't argue with her. I will get the juice.
Orange. Fresh. Squeezed by hand. No pits.
Anything that will keep you quiet.
Why, Quentin, why are you so nervous this morning? Is something bothering you?
You bother me, Helena.
Of course. How foolish of me to have forgotten you're terrified of the police. Does it frighten you that much to think that the police want to talk to me?
The police are coming here this afternoon?
Yes, darling. Unless you'd rather they didn't, in which case I'll simply call Lieutenant Wyatt and tell him you don't want the police anywhere near this house.
Don't you dare.
Oh, thank you, darling. I just hate the thought of being questioned in a police station. There's something so common about it. But then you were questioned there, weren't you? And God knows you're anything but common. Now I'm going upstairs and take a long hot bath and get ready for when the police come. Thank you for the juice, Violet. It was delicious.
That woman, I swear...
Let her go. She's not worth getting yourself upset over.
Getting myself upset? I'm already upset. The police will be here at 2 in the afternoon. I don't have to tell you what has to be done between now and then.
I'll get Fritz right away.
Oh, you've been asking me all these questions about Mr. McCord because he's in trouble with the police?
No, he's not. Not yet. But he could be.
For what? Saving my life? Because that's what he did.
Well, if Mr. McCord and your brother had called the police, it's possible your kidnappers would be in jail right now.
Yeah, and I also could be dead. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Well, I understand that you worked for Mr. McCord for about a year now. Is that right?
Yeah. Moved in last September, October. I've lived there ever since.
Yeah. Now, during that time, do you feel that you got to know him at all?
Well, you know, some people just don't like to talk about themselves, and he's one of those people.
Well, during the time that you lived with Mr. McCord...
No, wait a minute. I didn't live with him. I worked at the house, and I lived there.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. But during the time that you lived there in the house with him, did he do things, or was there anything about him that seemed strange or unusual? Did he ever say anything to you that seemed unusual, or...
Like what kind of things?
Well, did he ever talk about himself, about his past?
Well, see, like I told you before, you know, I mean, he doesn't talk a lot, and, I mean, there's a lot of things about him that I don't understand, about his past and everything, but that's only because he hasn't told me. I mean, he will someday.
Excuse me, but Gracie has to get back to work.
Hi, Miss Brown.
Hi.
Nola.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Oh, good to see you, too.
Did you get the flowers I sent?
Oh, yeah, they're right over there.
Oh, they're so pretty. I told the florist I wanted all pinks and purples.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Okay, close your eyes.
Why?
Well, because I've got something and well, just close your eyes.
Okay.
Now, when Tony told me that Mr. McCord and him were looking all over for you, all I can think about was Jeff Hunter and John Wayne and the Searchers looking for Natalie Wood. And remember how those creepy guys
Gracie,
kidnapped...
how long do I have to keep my eyes closed?
Okay, not much longer. Okay. What does this smell remind you of?
Ooh. English lavender.
England, right. I got you that so you can keep it in your drawer.
Oh. Well, I don't know if I want my room smelling like Mr. McCord's secret room.
Excuse me. What secret room is that?
Nothing. Well, it's just this room. Gracie and I gave it that name. No reason.
Do you know why?
No, why?
Oh, because there's this room on the 3rd floor in Mr. McCord's house. And if you first go up there, you'd never know it's there because there's this big, heavy drape covering it. That's why we call it the secret room on the 3rd floor. Mr. McCord and Mrs. Renfield didn't want anybody to know it was there. But Nola and I found it anyway, and that's why we call it the secret room on the 3rd floor.
Gracie,